Ready, like, bitch, are you ready?
I am ready. Now I'm ready. And
Oh, okay, now
we're
you're
also
ready.
in.
We're in. Okay, great. I didn't feel it, so.
Well, it might be a little bit too, too
Loosey
small.
goosey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you may be a little bit too loosey-goosey. I'm not saying anything about that.
Well, I did have coffee yesterday, and it really did. I had coffee like 2 or 3 days in a row recently, and I took a break, and my stomach was like,
Hello?
you should have avoided this." So I was in the bathroom a lot.
That cold brew. That cold brew.
It's that brown sugar cookie cold brew from Dunkin'. Woo!
Oh my god, one of these days, I think it was 3 days ago, I had a large coffee from Dunkin'. Oof, my poor asshole. My poor little butthole.
Just not little anymore. It's probably raw.
Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the What Do the Gays Think podcast.
Oh my god.
I am Matt Klubeck, and today with me I have my towel boy, Pat. How you doing, Pat?
Is it the towel?
It's the towel. Yeah, you know,
Oh,
the towel we all know about. The crusty one in Anthony's drawers.
Yeah, the many he has for some reason. It just saves them. I'm fine. This is, I think, the first episode we're recording with the new mic. So hopefully my voice sounds crisp, no echo, because I put up soundproofing. So this is going to really amplify the listener's experience.
Oh my goodness. Podcast listeners, if you're out there, feel free to reach out to us either on Twitter or DM us if we have you on Discord or anything, and be like, oh my god, Pat's audio sounds so much better. Or you could be like, oh, Pat's audio sounds so much worse, depending on what you think. I want your honest opinion.
I'll tell you something. I tweeted recently, earlier today, hey y'all, we're recording some new episodes today and we always accept recommendations for topics. So should you want us to discuss anything, let us know.
Yeah.
And we got one response, and it's from another podcast saying, we'd love to have you give us a listen. So the podcast wants us to listen to their podcast
on our podcast.
Well, no, just to give them feedback, basically. So they want us to discuss them, and I was like, okay, well, this podcast is called 7 Good Minutes with Clyde Lee Dennis.
Oh, so we're doing it. We're discussing them.
Well, no, we're not going to discuss it because I'm going to be honest, I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh.
It's a daily. This is not me shitting on them. Don't worry. It's a daily self-improvement podcast, and I will give them a listen. And in subsequent episodes, I will give my feedback. I just love that I asked for topics to discuss, and one podcast was like, discuss us. Like, it's just very nothing. No, listen, I'm always tweeting, you know, when I see little tweets of like, give me a podcast recommendation. I'm always throwing our name in. So they're pounding the pavement to get their name out there. It's just funny. So yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, appreciate is a strong word, but I'm fine with it. I'll give it a listen too, and I'll also give
7 good
feedback.
minutes. 7 good minutes. And you know what?
7 minutes in heaven.
Yeah, I've had some 7 good minutes before. How about you?
Yeah, it's more like, 2 minutes, but no.
2 ecstatic minutes. 2 minutes of ecstasy.
2 minutes of full-blown dopamine. Like,
and serotonin sprinkled in.
Serotonin, dopamine, all that hardcore, brain chemicals,
It's just your brain, an image of your brain doing a line of, not cocaine, but a line of like dopamine or serotonin off of a counter.
Oh, I love that. That's a lovely image. I want to see that. Yeah. I want to see that, those like political cartoons that people write up. I want to see that, but with like the brain snorting dopamine and serotonin.
That's me trying to get through this seasonal affective disorder I've got going on.
Is that what it's called? Seasonal affective disorder? Sad?
It's sad. Yeah, when it's, fall and winter and the days are shorter and the nights are longer and you get a little depression because it's a little
depression. Except we had our fall spring yesterday.
Oh yeah, yesterday was beautiful out. It was like it hit 60. It was a little breezy, and now today it's snowing.
It's that fall spring. It happens all the time. This is a New Jersey thing, fall spring.
I hate it. I really do.
Anyway, should we get into our topics for today's episode?
Go for it. Jump right in.
Oh, do you want me to go first? Mine's kind of sad a little bit. You should go first. Do you have a happy one?
The first thing on my list is Pinnochio.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So for those of you who don't know, there's a new animated Pinnochio film coming out. And you know what? I hadn't even I hadn't even heard of it until TikTok, did its thing. So I think it's from. Let me just check the. I googled animated Pinocchio, and of course I'm getting like the original. No.
Right.
Anyway, it's from some studio, I don't know, and there's a trailer for it, and TikTok has ruined it because in the trailer, Pinocchio, is basically saying, oh, Dad, Geppetto, like I want to go out and see the world or whatever.
Yeah.
But the voice actor they have chosen and how this, I'm guessing a young man, chose to speak sounded very gay, and TikTok has been having a field day with it. So he kind of has an inflection that's very, bent wrist
Bent
for those
wrist.
of
Yeah,
us
yeah.
watching on YouTube. Very bent wrist, and there's just been so many TikTok videos, especially a lot of TikTok videos of these white twinks saying it's them voicing him. And
They're the
now I
voice
don't
actor.
know, I don't know what the truth is. But could you give us your best impression
Me?
of the Pinocchio? Yeah, can you give us a little something?
Okay, before I do that, I just want to
Yeah.
say real quick, who asked for this Pinocchio remake? Like, was this a sought after thing
Um,
that people wanted?
I've heard that there is going to be a Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio film, and that I'm interested in because I like him, but this is not that one.
Okay,
So
separate.
no one asked for this one, apparently.
I don't know where it came from. Anyway, Dad, I just want to go out and live on my own. That's what he sounds like in the trailer.
That is very accurate. But yeah, I can't even tell if anyone is like, is this like like at first I thought, is this a real movie or is this like a giant prank? But I think it's real, and the gays are living for it, and the white twinks are all like, "It's me, I'm voicing him. I can't believe everyone's doing this." Or like, "Oh my god, he sounds so gay." And then apparently in the film, he like is supposed to like meet a girl and be straight, but not with that voice, honey.
Um, but like, listen. First of all, who is the actual voice actor? What does he think about this?
Is
Um,
he gay?
is he gay? And
Maybe.
what does he think about the memes? Like, I just want to. Does he know about the memes? Is he on TikTok? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it doesn't. I've only seen it on TikTok, so I'm guessing it's not like a big thing elsewhere. Although I'm not very deep into social media beyond TikTok. But I think a Lionsgate film. Okay, I think it's produced by Lionsgate.
Right, right.
Um,
Um,
and yeah.
but also on a more serious note, like
Hmm.
I do think it's funny, but
Yeah.
also like I also don't kind of like how people are making fun of the flamboyant voice as if it's a le-
Oh yeah, yeah,
as if it's a trait of gay men, which yeah, I mean stereotypically yes, but also that's not stereotypically. Um,
yeah.
not all gay men conform to that voice, and a lot of people think it's annoying, etc., which I don't like that stigma as well. There's just a lot going on with it, and I was like,
Hashtag not all gay men.
hashtag not all men, hashtag not all gays.
All right,
Um,
I found it. I found it. This is called Pinocchio: A True Story. It currently has a 3 out of 10 on IMDb.
the movie, it came out.
I don't know. Maybe it got early reviewed. Let's see what the cast is. Is this an American made film or is this a dub? Okay, Pauly Shore is the Pinocchio of the English version, so I think this might be a dubbed film.
Oh, so it's not even an American film.
It might not be. I don't know. Who's
Well,
Pauly Shore? What has he done in his life? Um, I don't know who this man is. Do you know that meme?
no, what
It's
meme?
Kiki Palmer looking at a picture of, I think, Dick Cheney, and she goes, "I don't want to sound ridiculous, but I don't know who this man is. He could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man's."
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about first. Pinocchio, yeah, let's not make fun of the gay voice because it's gay. It is a bit kind of homophobic to insinuate that someone who sounds like that is immediately gay and it's immediately like a bad thing. But it is funny because we love to laugh. We love to laugh.
That's the thing. It is kind of funny, and like obviously straight men can sound like that too. Like, and I'm pretty sure some straight men do sound like that. For example, Shawn Mendes. I'm not saying anything. He does kind of sound like that, but he is straight, so I'm not saying anything though.
Have you seen, speaking of I think it was Charlie Puth on TikTok was doing the trend where it goes between top or bottom. It's that the emoji for top and then the B for bottom.
Right.
And he was doing it. And as far as I know, Charlie Puth is a straight man. And
Yeah.
he was doing it. Oh, he's like, oh, let's see if I'm gonna be at the top of my game this year or like at the bottom of the barrel. And it like, I think it went to top. And he was like, oh, great, it's gonna be a good year or something like that. And I was like, he must know that's
He
not what
mu-
that's about, right? He must know. It's very cringe, especially because he's presumably a straight man. It's very cringe in my opinion.
He's
But I
got to
wonder if
know.
Shawn Mendes should do that.
Oh, that would be funny. I would laugh.
Yeah, I mean the way he jumps into water when he's at the beach, that video of him,
It was kind of hot. Anyway,
he arched his back, that's for sure. What's your sad topic? What do you got?
well, it's not a sad topic. It's just like here we go. All right. Here's the politics section. Skip this section if you don't like politics.
Right, right.
The Don't Say Gay bill. You've seen this, right?
Yes, I have.
That is going through the Florida legislation right now. It's not really called the Don't Say Gay bill. It's like the parental education rights or something like that. But it's been dubbed this Don't Say Gay thing because of this like one part of it. Anyway, it's supposed to give parents more say in deciding what children are exposed to in their classrooms, which that by itself, I'm not a fan of. How do you feel about parents controlling what their kids are exposed to in school?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Do you want me to expand on that?
You can expand on it, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like, who has like final authority on what is taught in school in terms of curriculums and stuff like that? Like it's all very different state by state. Like I'm sure private versus public, like it's all going to be different. Like if you don't like what your public school or private school is teaching your kid, you just move them to a different school or you homeschool them. Like it the parents should have a say in the safety of their children at school, you know?
Hmm.
Children are not threatened by other ideas and perspectives. They're threatened by violence such as the rise in gun violence in schools.
Mm.
Maybe we should be doing more legislature on that. But
Well,
no, let's not talk about, stricter gun laws and more, legislation on how people obtain guns and who can have guns. Let's do legislature on my child shouldn't hear about gay stuff in the classroom.
right. And it's like even more than that too, because
Oh yeah.
this part of the bill, it's like, oh, parents should have a right to decide what their children are exposed to. Really religious parents could in theory sue schools for teaching their kids like about evolution, for example.
Yeah, which is if you've ever been to a school, a lot of what you learn in biology.
It is. And
Yeah.
like I just think that like schools should have their own right to dictate what they're teaching children, and because if you give parents the right to kind of interject into what children are learning, you're going to have all these parents from all different perspectives trying to
Yeah.
chime in and change the curriculum.
Yeah.
There needs to be like a set standard for the school about what is taught, and it can't be religious. Keep religion out of it because everyone has different religions, especially if you're in a public school.
Oh yeah, yeah,
If you're in
yeah.
a private school, fine. You send your kid to private school if you want your kid to only be exposed to your religion. But if you're in a
Hmm.
public school with people from all different religions or people with no religion, like you can't try to indoctrinate your children with your specific religion if they're going to public school. It just doesn't work because there's so many different religions.
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, if you don't like what your school is teaching your kid, move your kid to a different school. I keep seeing these videos on TikTok, which is now where I get all my news apparently. Um, of all these parents coming up to, I guess, these public forums, I guess, being like, my son can't go to his class for, let's say, bring your parent to work day, or like I can't go to my son's class and talk about our family for like our parent student conference thing, whatever, because I have like a same sex couple.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I have a husband and I'm a man. I have a wife and I'm a woman, or identify as a woman, identify as a man, whatever. Or like my child's sort of experience is not able to be expressed in school because some other kids' parents don't want to hear about it. And I think that's extremely invalidating.
It's just
I mean, yes,
sad.
there's the religious aspect of it, but I, as a gay man, focus on the gay aspects of it, and it's just very not good, and I don't like it. And I keep seeing all these parents come in like, what is it's like hmm. Let me think of a good analogy. Hold on. This nope, that's not a good analogy. Never mind.
What?
I was gonna talk about like the peanut butter table in cafeterias, but
Oh,
never
not the
mind. Maybe
peanut
I
butter
won't.
table. The peanut butter
Maybe I
table.
won't. So anyway, yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. But it will pass because it's Florida.
Oh yeah, because Florida is ridiculous right now. And one thing I've been thinking about, and this is just anecdotal evidence on my part. I will say that now. This is anecdotal evidence.
Thank God.
But when I was growing up, I didn't hear shit about gays at all. I didn't even know what that word meant until like middle school, and that was from
Oh my
hearing it from
God.
other people. There was no
Yeah.
curriculum discussing anything related to the LGBTQ community, not in middle
Hmm.
school, not in primary school, not in high school. None of that. Guess who was still gay? Me. Like,
Guess who is still just sucking dick?
guess,
I mean, not in middle school, obviously, but guess who was fantasizing about that stuff? Me, and I
like,
had no one to teach me.
literally the amount of exposure I had to anything gay growing up was like nothing. So like you can't be afraid that exposing your kid to the LGBTQ community is going to somehow turn them gay, because
Yeah.
that's not how it works. They're going to be gay regardless. And in fact, by not normalizing the LGBT community at a young age, these kids are going to think that they're abnormal as
Oh
they grow
yeah.
up.
Yeah. Did you
And
think that?
yeah,
Oh,
I
same.
I did. I mean,
Same, totally. I loved it. I was like, ooh, I'm different. I'm bad. I
I'm
need to be
different.
murdered.
No, these kids are gonna think that they're abnormal, and I've seen this a couple of times. Like, if you think that you're abnormal, and especially if you think that you're gonna be shunned for being part of the LGBTQ community, you have a higher rate of committing suicide. It's like when Biden
Yeah.
says like this is a death sentence for LGBTQ kids, like he's not lying. That's a true statement.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, um, it these things are good. Like you said, these things are going to happen anyway, whether you talk about them, whether you expose them or not. So, I mean, it's really, do you want these things to happen in a unsafe environment? Let's say, for example, I did a lot of my gay awakening online in CD chat rooms with people
Mm,
who were probably not my age, even though they posed to be my age, and shit like that.
right.
Or do you want these things happening in the classroom in a safe environment? Much like the abortion discussion, if
Oh,
you limit the accessibility to abortions, that does not stop abortions. It might just spike unsafe abortions.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's really like, do you want more dead, or I don't want to hyperbolize, although it is a true possibility that these people could kill themselves if they feel like they're not able to express themselves or find help, but I don't want to over catastrophize it. So, do you want more LGBTQ plus youth not able to express themselves and then maybe repress parts of themselves and grow to hate parts of themselves? Or do you want them to be in a safe environment where they can express themselves, or at least have the opportunity to do so if they feel like it, so they can feel seen, heard, validated, and things like that? So,
Yeah, exactly. And if they grow up thinking that it's normal, like I didn't know that I was gay until I was like 15 or so.
yeah,
Um,
you saw me and you were like,
I saw
oh,
Pat. I was like, "Hello there."
hello.
Yeah, I didn't know I was gay until I was like
Hello.
15 or so. But if I had grown up knowing that that was normal, like maybe I could have figured it out sooner, and maybe I wouldn't have stayed in the closet for 6+ years after that. Anyway, that's my say on that. Off
Anyway,
to you.
COVID.
COVID. Okay.
It's infiltrated my home.
No.
It's in my house. It's in my
It's in
house.
your home.
It is. It's not in me, thankfully, not yet.
Oh, can't. Something
So
else may be in
my
you though.
no, none of that too. That almost happened, and I said, no, no, we can't do that right now. You're sick.
What?
So my boyfriend unfortunately got COVID. He what was it, Wednesday night, I think, or Thursday, whatever. He tested positive with a rapid test. Those at-home rapid kits we got from the government. Thank you, Biden.
I still haven't got my government tests. I still haven't
I'm
gotten them. What the heck?
Anyway, I took one, it was negative. I took another one, it was negative. He took another one later, it was still positive. So, I've just been hiding out in this office that you see here if you're on YouTube. Um,
It is beautiful.
and every time I go upstairs, I bring this with me. Hold on one second. I bring my lovely KN95.
And you wear your mask every
Beautiful.
time you leave the room. That's pretty funny. I love that.
I do. I mean, unless I know he's like in his office not doing anything and I just run to the kitchen. But like if I'm interacting with him,
Mask
mask is
on.
on. And I just go around like every hour and a half, I go around my temp gun. I temp both of us. And yeah,
Ah.
it's been interesting not being able to just, be in a normal living situation with someone you've lived with for years. It's very interesting.
Oh, right, right. Well, I kind of had that too when I had COVID, except I was the one who was sick.
That's true,
And
yes.
similarly, somehow Troy did not get sick. Now,
Well,
so
some men are built differently.
I mean, I seriously think that some people are less susceptible to COVID, probably. Like they have a certain immune systems, certain criteria. I don't know how it works exactly. I definitely think that some people are less susceptible to getting it.
Yeah.
Because Troy, being a first responder and probably being exposed quite often, has somehow never gotten it. So, like,
Some people built different. Or he had it maybe and it was so mild he didn't even notice.
it's true, but he gets tested twice a week. So, like, you think if he'd had it, he would have tested positive at some point.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, shit.
So, I don't
What are y'all
know.
doing?
What
Screw
why
it.
y'all doing? Somehow I got it, and then
Yeah.
I just sat in the bedroom all day and watched TV.
You know what? That was the one illness you didn't blame on me, though, but that's good.
Oh, because you gave me alpha
Oh,
COVID. Oh,
God. Yeah, the initial strain. Yeah, now I can't go into work though because I'm considered, someone who has been in contact with someone. So now I can't go in for like
oh,
till Wednesday.
does that hurt your research? Are your little plants like not doing well?
Well, I had just repotted all my plants or most of them before I left the last day I was there. So that was
Hmm.
good. But I did have experiments lined up and then I emailed my advisor and I was like, "Hi, something really cool happened. So I can't come in." And she was like, "Oh, okay, feel better if you're sick." And then I just have to
Right.
move everything. But I also have a lot of work to do. I have another job to do. So like now I'm just kind of like, wow, I really took leaving the house for granted. I don't like people like the idea of working from home. I don't think I like it.
I like it. I'm into
Because,
it.
well, I know you are. I know. Because like Kel is working from home now, obviously, because he's sick. But
Yeah.
prior to, he was starting to go back in because his office was like, all right, guys, it's time. It's
It's time.
time.
Come on in.
So now I'm working at home and like I can do it because I can, write more of my thesis. I can start prepping my talk and presentation stuff, write abstracts, whatever. But I hate it. I hate
Okay.
it. It's like
Well,
in my office all day. Ugh.
so I mean, when the COVID first hit, that was me, right? I was stuck in my office all day, like couldn't leave. I was working from home. Now that I've done it for 2 years, though, I prefer it.
Never go back.
I prefer it honestly. Like it's just so much easier. I can
I
just
think
roll out
there's
of
gonna
bed.
be, yeah, there's gonna be a major shift in, especially like I don't think we'll ever be in a post-COVID world, but in a post-pandemic COVID world, definitely more people are gonna be like, this is better.
I
Especially for those who have jobs that, you don't need to go into an office.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to. I will say that. Like you are probably in the state that I was in when I first started working from home because I also hated it.
Hmm.
But now I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go into the office. It's fine.
Work. Let's give an Arceus update.
Oh, I was going to continue the COVID discussion real quick
Oh, go for
because
it.
I
Go
did
for
have
it
something
now.
else COVID related to talk about.
Oh
Um,
no.
because I looked at the cases, I looked at the graphs today because I wanted to make sure I was updated on the data.
Yeah.
Everything is like going down, but specifically in New Jersey, because for the entire United States, we're at like where we were back in like Delta time, like October-ish, November-ish. That's where we're at
Oh.
right now for the entire United States. For New Jersey, we're like super low in terms of cases right now. Like Omicron came in, got everybody sick, and then said goodbye. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And Kelly is one of those cases now.
Oh my, so, the one of the few like
One of the, yeah, I'm not.
lol. So
Built different.
New Jersey is doing like it's just gone. It's not gone completely, obviously, because
Well,
obviously
yeah.
Kel still has it.
Unfortunately, he's the last patient in Jersey with it.
But for the most part, it's like very low right now in New
Hmm.
Jersey. And Governor Murphy is lifting the mask mandate in schools.
I heard, and I think
Yes.
that's a bad idea
Okay, let's hear it. Why do you think it's a bad idea?
because I think that The best approach for this is to be as sure as possible that, let's say, COVID numbers are as low as they're going to be,
Hmm.
slash, we are out of this constant up and down of a new strain, like boom and then bust, boom and bust, and boom and bust.
Hmm.
And then whenever you're sure about that feeling, you wait even longer. Because just to be
Mood.
safe, because I know what's going to happen. These kids, who a lot of younger kids can't get their next booster shot because it's not FDA approved or whatever. A lot of these kids are going back to school, no masks, and then bam, either it's going to spike up again or another variant comes in and it spikes up again. And
Hmm.
we're going to have to go through this whole thing of putting masks back on. And this is what happened several times throughout like the pandemic and throughout different states. It's like everyone just has this different idea of how long they should be wearing masks for and how much of an inconvenience it is. If everyone just wears masks all the time for a long time, eventually we'll be at a spot where we won't need them anymore, or we'll only need them during like flu season, which is now called flu and COVID season, I'm sure. But we never did it. Like the country as a whole never said, let's just stick it out. They never did. It was too many people with too many different ideas doing too many different things.
I agree. And
Thank you.
here's where I agree. So, dropping the mask mandate now, do I think that that's going to affect us in the now? No. I think it's probably okay right now, seeing as how COVID's not spreading. But when that
Yeah.
next variant hits, you're gonna need that mask mandate again. And
Yeah. And there's going to be a delay because we're not going to know about the variant until it's too late and it's already in the system. And that mask mandate is going to be too delayed to get kicked in. And we're going to see a big peak.
exactly. And I'm like, so if you drop the mask mandate now, it's so hard. It's gonna be so hard to get people to start wearing them again. Like
Yeah.
we dropped our general mask mandate in New Jersey last year, and even during Omicron, we didn't put it back. Like,
Hmm.
like if you drop the mask mandate, like the effort it's gonna take to get people to start wearing masks again is, I think it outweighs the benefits of taking them off right now. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, it's been over 2 years now. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. And you know
I
what?
don't.
Even if, even when it's not like obviously COVID's probably going to be with us forever, but if it's not pandemic times, I will still probably wear my mask during the peak seasons of flu and COVID. I probably still will. Like during
Yeah.
winter times, just to, prevent the spread as much as I can. I
Yeah.
don't
Stop
mind
the
it. I
spread.
really don't. Stop the spread,
Stop.
stop the
Stop the
steal.
spread. Stop the COVID. I mean, I see no, it does not inconvenience me at all. The only time it inconveniences me, the one time it does, is when it's really hot in the summer, and then I don't want to wear it. But it's like you said, if we get to a point where it's just like peak seasons are in the winter, fall, colder months, then I'll wear it then. And in the summer, I'll be buck ass naked.
What?
I'll just be
Hello?
running outside, throwing it back,
I hope I'm there to see.
throwing it back, and throwing it forward. Everything's out and about.
Oh, okay. Now we can do an Arceus update if you want.
Yeah, because we'll do a real episode about our
We'll do a
review.
final review, full blown episode of Arceus review. Yes,
Much like my boyfriend with COVID, full blown.
full blown.
Um,
What are we talking about?
I have played more of it recently, and I was like, because I
Have
haven't played in a
you?
while. Yeah, last night I played or yesterday, whenever I don't know. I took a huge nap yesterday, and all time meant nothing.
Oh,
I played a bunch of it yesterday at some point. I haven't played in a while, and my Joy-Con is drifting.
what do you mean your Joy-Con is drifting? What does that
You know what
mean?
Joy-Con drift is?
What? No, what does that mean?
Okay, so that means you're somehow in the production of Joy-Cons, there's like this issue with them that older Joy-Cons that have been used too much sometimes will start to drift in that it'll start to move your, let's say in this case, your character without you touching the analog stick. So like I'll be walking around and I'll stop and then my character will just keep walking left. And then I have to toggle the stick and it corrects itself, but it keeps doing it. So I need
Oh,
Joy-Cons.
oh
But
yeah. Mine's
besides
doing that
that,
too, actually.
yeah, besides that though, apparently the new Joy-Cons don't do that. So if you buy new Joy-Cons, it's good. But I think there's also something Nintendo does where you can like contact them and send back the old one.
Oh,
I don't
that's
I don't
nice.
know. I don't know. But anyway, Arceus update. I'm still in the second zone.
Well, I'm in the fifth zone.
Yeah, I got Ursaluna. And then I just got distracted by all my work. And then
Oh
I got back
yeah.
into it, and then I just started catching Pokemon. And I just wanted to catch all the alphas in the area. I caught that Sliggoo.
Oh, that Alpha Sliggoo. Oh my god.
It was
What's
lovely.
the evolved form of Sliggoo? There's a bigger one.
Gudra?
Gudra, yeah, there's an alpha one of those in one of the next areas. I caught that
Oh,
one too.
good. Yeah, I just like catching the alpha Pokemon, finishing out the Pokedex as much as I can, and now I feel like I'm ready to finish up the second zone. Fight that, what is it, Lilligant or whatever that Pokemon is.
Oh
Spoiler
yeah.
alert, obviously, we're talking about the game. Um, and then I think I'm gonna go on to the third zone, but I'm still enjoying it. I still think it's fun.
The third
I'm not.
zone is pretty fun, I will say. It's a change up of the well, not like the kind of progression that you have to go through within a zone, but like it's a change up of the environment. So I think it's pretty fun.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm not bored yet with the constant sort of catching and recycling and catching and recycling Pokemon, basically. But found another unknown. That
Oh,
was fun.
nice. I've only got like 4 of them.
Did you find the one in the town?
There's one in town?
There's
Where?
one in town. Oh, it's on
Shit.
top of the main building.
Well, fuck. I don't think I found it. No.
You have to use one of those flying balls.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm so bad at those. The goddamn flying balls.
Catching that Staraptor was lovely. I caught it again in the first zone.
Nice. I've been
Yeah.
collecting those goddamn wisps. They're
Oh,
kind of annoying to
yeah.
find. They're easier to see in the nighttime, but during the
Yeah.
daytime you can't see them unless you're on top of them.
Yeah.
Ugh,
What do you
which
think? How is your gameplay going?
I'm still enjoying it, I would say. I think the once you get to like the fifth zone, you kind of understand how the little chapter that you're in is gonna go. Like you have to do this little side quest first before you fight the big thing at the end. And honestly, how I've been doing it now from like the third zone onward is I just do the main quest, catch all the Pokemon on the way, and then after I finish that quest, then I explore the rest of the zone, catch all the alphas, catch all the rest of the Pokemon that I find, do all the side quests, and then go to the next zone. That's kind of how I've been doing it.
I do the exact opposite.
Oh,
I get I get in that zone, I explore it, do all the side quests, catch all the Pokemon first, and then I do the main quest. And by the time I do the main quest, I'm so over leveled, it's not difficult.
no, I basically do straight on the main quest first, and then do everything else.
Right.
I've been having fun doing it that way. And I'm like,
Mm.
okay, cuz plus once you do the main quest, then you get access to the like animal Pokemon for that zone that allows you to do additional things. So it's
Yes.
easier
Yeah.
just to make sure you get that additional animal and then do the rest of the zone because you get the additional movement ability, I guess, for that
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah. Work.
I'm telling you right now, you got to get the movement ability in the third zone early, or else you're not gonna be able to go anywhere. I'm just saying.
Well, okay, I guess that one I will change it up a little bit.
And you're not. I'm telling you, you're not gonna be able to go anywhere.
You want to talk about Ukraine?
Do we? Should
I
we?
mean, we should mention it. Maybe
Okay,
just
we
mention
could
it.
mention it, but also like, do we want to talk about it? I don't know.
I just think it's very interesting that Russia is gaslighting Ukraine. So
What does
basically,
that mean?
what happened was this is very. I'm not very deep on this, so if I've made a mistake, someone correct me.
Mm.
Basically, Russia's propaganda machine basically said, "We think Ukraine is gearing up for something bad. That's why we're going to send troops to the border." And Ukraine was like, "We're not." And I'm
What?
pretty sure the rest of the world was like, "They're not." And then Russia goes, "Well, if Ukraine does anything to retaliate to our border patrol we were setting up, basically, any sort of show of force or any sort of military deployment, we're going to take that as enough reason to invade them." So Russia has self generated the problem and the solution for themselves, while Ukraine and the rest of the world have been like, "That's interesting how you
That's
could much like a white man creating problems and thinking they're solving them by invading other
Oh
countries."
my God, can I say this though? Can I say something? Russia, they're creating their own problem and then solving it themselves to go invade Ukraine.
Yeah.
Um, yes, that probably happened through Russian propaganda, but like that also happens here a lot.
Oh, of course. No one's saying it's not. No one's saying it's not. I'm just
I'm just thinking
saying.
about the whole trans women in sports thing. Like Republicans created that problem even though it doesn't exist, and then they're creating bills to solve said problem that doesn't exist, and it's happened a bunch of other times.
Yeah, and now apparently the US has said, I think Biden included, agreed that Russia could invade Ukraine any day now.
Mm,
And I'm
yep.
like, "Oh, okay.
So are we gonna like have a? Here's my question.
Yes.
And I don't think there's going to be a nuclear war, but like we both got nukes on both sides. Like,
Mm.
I, are we about to see World War III? Is that what's about to happen?
Over Ukraine? I hope not.
Well,
No shade to Ukraine. I just thought that World War III would be over something a little more dramatic.
Russia's just like, I'm just gonna start a world war because I feel
I
like it.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to resort to. Well, actually, I don't know. Russia's kind of crazy, and so are we. We resorted to nukes once, so I think there's a lot of
We did. We
diplomacy
did.
in between those two events, which would hopefully take place and not cause any sort of global threat.
I mean,
But
we hoping, and also Biden chatted with Putin apparently over the phone for an hour, and
we know how that went. Probably Biden incoherently telling him not to do it, and Putin ignoring him. I mean, I imagine. I don't know for sure. I'm not on the line.
also, what's so great about Ukraine that Russia wants it so bad? Like, is Ukraine really that? Like, is she really that great? Does she got curves? Like, what?
Wasn't I thought it was because at one point parts of Ukraine existed as Russia, like before Russia
Well,
lost it.
yeah, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, I think,
Yeah,
before
so
the
it's probably just
collapse.
like it's like an ex-boyfriend that just won't go away. It wants her back.
The ex-boyfriend is now stalking,
Yeah,
threatening to break into the house. Like,
yeah, and you know what? That's some people really do be like that. And you
it,
know what you do when you have an ex-boyfriend like that? What you do is you call your big, Uncle Tony in the mob,
right,
and
right,
you
right.
you get him to kneecap him.
Okay, okay. Is America the Uncle Tony in this
Well,
scenario?
unfortunately, America has positioned itself as like the police country of the world, which goes very hand in hand with how we see police in our own country. That's
Ooh,
for damn sure. So we love to police
ooh.
everyone,
We love
even
to
ourselves.
please everyone.
Police. We like to
Police. We like to please
please. We are
people.
not
No.
pleasing anyone.
Oh
Please, we
my
can't even
God,
please
we're
our own
not.
citizens.
Oh, you're also right. Please, America is about to probably dive into a civil war soon if shit doesn't get better.
We should just bisect the country. Quickly
Hmm.
little surgery, snip, snip, snip.
Yeah, cut out like Texas, and Florida, some of those other states, and just
Well, keep Houston. I like Houston.
okay, we can cut out Houston from
And
Texas,
then
kind of
move
lift it
it.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
pick it up and push it somewhere else, as Patrick Starr would say.
yeah, I think that's a fine idea.
Okay.
Okay, work.
I
Any other
live for
topics
that.
you have?
Um, hmm. This is also another one that I'm not sure that we should talk about.
Oh
But
Lord, what is it? Tell me, tell me, tell me.
obviously there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Joe Rogan, which we haven't addressed on the podcast either.
Yes, yes, Joe Rogan. Yeah,
Joe Rogay. Should we talk
I
about
don't.
it?
If you want, go for it. What are your opinions? What are your thoughts?
See, the thing is I kind of don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't even want to give it the time of day. But
All right, you want my opinion first?
sure, go ahead.
Okay, I think he's. A lot of people have just been saying he's a man looking to make money, so he'll say whatever inflammatory thing makes him money. And that's
That's
it.
true.
I think uh he is greed given corporeal form, and there's nothing else, there's no intelligent or compassionate thoughts going on. He's an empty shell of just greed. He just wants the money, so he'll create content that makes him wealthier. That's it. He'll say anything he wants. People have cut together videos of him, old videos of him supporting vaccines, and the new videos of him not supporting vaccines. He'll just say things that get people to tune into his, platform.
But like also I've heard people say, and I don't actually know because I've never listened to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Me
I've heard people
neither.
say that prior to COVID, he was not like a crazy white right wing conspirator, I would say. And then
Okay.
suddenly throughout the whole COVID pandemic scenario, he is now suddenly like a right wing conspirator. And I'm like, how did this shift happen? Like
Well,
if he was originally kind of like this, I don't want to say bipartisan, but nonpartisan podcast entity, and then suddenly diving down this right wing funnel. Like, how did that happen?
I either A, he just knows it makes him money, so he does it, or B, he somehow became very radicalized. White old men are dumb.
Oh,
And I think they're easily susceptible to persuasion a lot of times. Uh, and I think either he just, like I said, knows that it makes him money, so he just does it, or he's become very entrenched in a mindset that is very attractive to certain people. You know, the right
hmm.
wing succeeds so many times because their rhetoric is very attractive and is very persuasive to certain types of people. So he might have just, fell for it.
It's just
So,
like, and now the controversy is like, should Spotify remove his podcast? Which
right.
they have already removed like some episodes where he's using racial slurs. Which,
Mhm.
disregarding that, which I mean, good on Spotify for at least removing those episodes. Spotify's putting content warnings on any episodes that are on any episodes that basically mention COVID-19 or the vaccines or whatever. But is it
Yeah.
enough? Is the question.
Well, I imagine that whenever you sign up for Spotify or any podcasting or any platform that you're producing content on, they have it in their contract that, or their agreement, that they can decide what they want or don't want on their platform. So I'm sure Spotify can, if they really felt like it, say, we're not going to support your content anymore, we're getting rid of it.
Right.
But um, that they have to take into account that that doesn't look good from like a PR standpoint, that they will sort of be the adjudicator of what content belongs there and what doesn't, and therefore like what is right and what is wrong, even though a lot of people say, well, it's personal opinions he's having or whatever. And also they have to take into account that the financial implications of, if you pull out someone's podcast who, let's say, makes them a lot of money because it brings in a lot of streams, then they lose money. And then they could lose other content creators who don't feel safe to put their content on Spotify without threat of having it removed or having, certain warnings be placed on it.
I mean, I'm just like, there have already been social media companies out there who have removed people slash content from their platforms for spreading COVID misinformation.
Yeah.
It's happened on Twitter. It's happened on Facebook. It's happened on all these different places. So it's not like it's a new thing.
Yes.
It's just that Spotify has yet to take that step to remove people or remove content from the platform for spreading this misinformation.
Mhm.
Um, do I think they should get rid of his podcast? I don't think they should get rid of the whole thing. Should they remove episodes that could kill people by spreading misinformation? Maybe. Like, if it's
Yeah.
literal dangerous rhetoric that could kill people, then maybe they could
But that's
remove
all
those episodes.
subjective. That's all subjective then. Like, what do you consider? Do you consider opinion dangerous?
I do
Yeah,
think
in
some
some
opinions,
cases.
yeah, some
Yeah.
opinions can be dangerous. Yes.
But that's up to us to decide. So how does Spotify discern what is considered dangerous and what's not?
Well, Spotify has to probably updates its rules and regulations about podcast episodes
Probably, yeah.
to better specify what they will allow and what they won't allow. I mean, that's
Yep.
going to be up to Spotify, and will they do that? I don't know.
I think now, we're not entering it, as we've been in this sort of time of misinformation and weaponizing information and misinformation, a lot of content creators or a lot of content publishers will have to reassess what they think about these things, because I think a while ago when they wrote these initial agreements or rules and regulations, they just defaulted to the idea that people just knew right versus wrong, or they
Hmm.
knew that people could make educated decisions. But now we can't just have that safe assumption anymore, because clearly
Wasn't a good
pe-
assumption in the first place.
people, yeah, I mean, it's not, but people can't be left alone to their own devices to make these smart, educated decisions.
Hmm. Great. Anyway, do you want to wrap up with the would you, could you, should you?
Sure.
So you're dating Little Nas X, right?
Okay.
You're having a lovely time with him. It's lovely. He has a pet though. He's got a
Oh,
dog.
oh yeah. God. Okay. Tell me what he
So you're
does with the
walking
dog.
you're walking with him with this dog one day. He says, "You want to come on a walk with my new dog? Maybe not a new dog.
Yes,
Maybe it's an older dog."
sure.
You're like, "Okay, sure, let's go on this walk." The dog takes a shit, and little Nas, he just picks it up with his bare hands.
Mm,
And he's like,
mm,
"Yeah, you got to pick up the poop so that nobody steps on it. Just got to make
yeah.
I'm doing my best for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to leave shit on their lawn, so he picks it up with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Do you stay with
Um,
it?
what is his rationale for not using a bag, though?
He thinks that the bag is bad for the environment too. He's like, why waste
Um,
plastic?
it's true. It's plastic. I would first say, well, we could get compostable bags,
Right.
and then we could set up a compost in your backyard, and you could just throw the poop bag in there, so the poop and the bag will compost. And then you won't have to worry about the environmental impact. And, crap is great for composting and getting a
Right.
lot of nutrients. So would he be amenable to that? Or is there a deeper reason he likes touching the poop? Because if there's a deeper reason, I will not stay with him. But if it's just an environmental reason, then I can understand that and offer an alternative.
What if he also refuses the compostable bag?
He probably likes the feeling, I'm guessing. Guessing he likes the feeling of the poop between his fingers, and I
No, no,
don't
no.
like
He
that.
doesn't like squeeze it. He doesn't like
Well,
doesn't
I
like play
mean,
with it in his
then
hands.
what's the problem? What's the problem with compostable bags?
He doesn't explain. He's like, I don't want
I
to
then I
do
don't
them.
then I'm
I
not
don't
going
want
to
to spend the
explain
money.
why.
He doesn't want to spend the money on compostable
Oh,
bags.
okay. Rich people who don't like spending money are annoying to me.
Okay.
So I'm not staying with him. No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, he's
If
sad.
you if, well, I'm sad. I thought I was going to be dating Lil Nas X and he picked up that shit with his bare hands. I'm sad. My day's ruined.
Ah.
You're dating someone, doesn't have to be Lil Nas X. You're dating someone, and they listen to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Ah.
Now
Jesus.
they say that they were a fan for a very long time before Joe Rogan became what he is today, and they say they're so in deep with him now, and they enjoy him so much as a person because what he used to do that they will stick out his new ideology and persona. Would
Ugh.
you date them, or would you leave them just because they listen to a podcast?
Hmm. How like religiously does this person listen to this podcast? Do they like listen to
Every week,
every single episode?
every week.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, if you had asked me this question like 3 years ago, maybe I would have been like, fine, it's a podcast. Like
Yeah.
it's the Joe Rogan podcast. Whatever. I don't care about Joe Rogan. Um, but
Yeah.
right now with
Yeah.
his racial slurs and
Well, his
um,
racial slurs apparently have been around
oh, they have. But
because they
apparently
found older episodes.
most of the time he's not saying them in a derogatory way, from what I've
But
heard.
yeah, but that's the thing though. The conversation becomes: is it about how you say it or saying it at all?
Well, you shouldn't say it at all. And you know what? I saw an interesting video about this. Um,
Work.
yeah, so culturally, apparently, if you go back to like the 80s and the 90s, it was still not okay to say the word, but apparently it was socially acceptable if you were quoting somebody
Oh, I saw
else.
this video on TikTok. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
if you were
yeah.
quoting somebody else, or if you were quoting a textbook, or if you're quoting something, then
Yeah,
it was fine to just blurt out the word.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And then something happened, and I forget what it was. I think it was a court case.
It was the O.J. Simpson trial.
The O.J. Simpson trial. The lawyer said the N word, like that phrase.
Yeah, he
And then
said,
suddenly there was a cultural shift where no one said it anymore, and it was just the N word.
yeah, because he said that it's the most vile. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. The most vile, hurtful, disgusting word in the English language. And that's why he would not say it, and he always says the N word in that phrase.
Honestly, bless that cultural shift.
Bless,
Um,
honestly.
anyway, well, I don't think the Joe Rogan podcast existed before that, though, so I'm assuming.
No, I don't think so. I think Joe Rogan was probably young and dumb back then.
Oh, young and dumb
I
now.
assume. I assume, yeah.
Anyway, so what were we talking about?
So would you stay with the person if they listen to the Joe Rogan podcast?
Oh, can I convince them?
No,
Elsa.
no, no. They don't even, this person doesn't even necessarily believe in what Joe Rogan says right now. Like, they're not necessarily someone who also is like anti-vax or whatever, but
Right.
they will listen to it.
Do they listen to it just for like the controversy? They just like listening to like
They like
the
him
other
as a
side of the
person.
story.
No, no, no. They like him as a person.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. I know I wouldn't stay with them flat out. I won't. Yeah, I'm
I
that petty.
don't
I will not
now
date someone based on a podcast they listen to.
nowadays I don't think I would.
Like, I shouldn't even be dating Kel. He doesn't listen to this podcast.
Oh, my boyfriend doesn't listen to this podcast either. Here we are.
I know. What the hell? We don't even have support from the people that love us.
No support. No, you know who supports us? Anthony. Hey, Anthony, if you're listening to the
Hi,
podcast, thanks for
Anthony.
listening.
Thank you. I should say no one who loves us intimately as our partners supports us in
Oh my
this
god,
endeavor.
really? Oh my god.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Anyway.
thanks everyone for watching / listening to this episode of the What Did the Gays Think podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at WDTGT Podcast for updates on when we post new episodes and memes and other content for Pat's recommendations or Pat asking for topic recommendations and nobody responds to us most of the time.
Except for a podcast saying
Except for
that
another
we should listen to
podcast.
them.
If you like games, do you got games on your phone? No. If you like games, we stream on Twitch at What Did the Gamers Think? That's GAYMERS. Come give us a follow there. We currently stream, well, actually our schedule is changing a little bit, but Mondays and Thursdays at around 8 o'clock, 8:30 Eastern time at PM is when we usually stream.
Yes.
If you'd like to show your support outwardly for our podcast, go ahead and check out our Redbubble. It's in the description. And also we have a Discord server if you want to join that as well. It's called Pride Empire. The link to that is also in the description. You can just click on it, go ahead and join, chat with us outside of the podcast, outside of our streams, etc. And once again, thanks everyone for listening. And I am Mac Lubeck.
And I am that gay Pinocchio. Was it father?
Father, I just want to go out on my own.
own.
Okay, you're the voice actor. You're the voice actor.
The white twink.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye.